Pelee's deadly eruption. It was now 8 a.m. local time on May 8, 1902. Note I made an error here and said 1908 incorrectly. And in 5 seconds the true deadliest day in the entire gold present. And yet, despite the location I have given this ship in my diagram, we actually have no clue where it sunk. We haven't found its wreckage to date, and allegedly there is still gold out there if someone was to find this ship. Quick late note. I want to remind everyone to not break the law and look for this ship because there is a supposed treasure which in my opinion is either outright unobtainable or doesn't even exist. Please don't search for this ship. I am merely telling the tale surrounding the grappler and its alleged lost treasure because it's interesting to me. Yet, not every single major ship in the waters off Saint-Pierre sunk that day. As, on the very outskirts of the pyroclastic flow, the ship Rotterdam had 18 of its 44 crew survive. Despite the raging inferno and fires that spread around the ship, through a good and knowledgeable captain and the hard work of his crew, they were able to save the ship. Subsequently, the Rotterdam left for Fort de France. Annihilation Line. Everything north of the so-called Annihilation Line in the town, that being essentially marked by the Roxelane River, was completely obliterated, with only foundations remaining. To the south, every structure was still destroyed and their occupants deceased, but many still had walls still standing, indicating negligibly less severe damage. By the time the firestorm had ended, what had been a town with 28,000 people at the beginning of the day now only had what I estimate to be 27 survivors. Most of these survivors lived on the famous survivors' outskirts of the town or at high elevation, and thus received the least duration and heat when the pyroclastic flows struck. But, let's look back at the 3 most famous survivors. Havivra da Ifrel successfully escaped into a sea cave where while in the boat she would lose consciousness for a time, either due to the intense heat of the passing pyroclastic flow or due to asphyxia due to the displacement of oxygen. She would eventually wake up, and be rescued by the French warship Suchet while drifting in a slightly burned boat 3 kilometers out to sea. As for Léon Compère Leandre, while many of those around him with the same experience perished, he suddenly awoke an hour after passing out. His house was on fire, and thankfully he managed to escape in time. He then, while injured and burnt, ran a full 5.7 kilometers to the unharmed village of Fonds Saint-Denis. As for Ludger Silberis, he would be found on May 11 crying for help, hoping someone could hear him as he had not eaten and barely drank any water during the prior few days. Debris was cleared and then he was rescued, later telling his unique tale to reporters and scientists. All of the 15 other burning ships in the harbor struck by the pyroclastic flows would eventually sink, comprising a portion of the 69.3 square kilometers or 26.8 square miles incinerated by pyroclastic flows. Eruption not over yet. While so much had been lost already, Pelee's eruption was not over, nor had it even claimed its last victims. As a final note, I would like to thank my new YouTube channel member Mantolwin for supporting my work. Support from people like you on YouTube and Patreon allows me to make these long-form deep dive videos,